What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Eric Wilson. Today, joined by my co-host, Will Cohen. Today, we have a lovely discussion to talk to you all about should the Rangers fire their head coach, Peter Laviolette. It's been a rough season for the Rangers. We've all seen it. We've all experienced it. It's not fun. So what's next? After this season, do we move on from the head coach? That's what we're here to talk about today. So we're going to get right on into that. But before we do, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss notification. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers. And be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below on whether or not you think the Rangers should fire Peter Laviolette. And I'm just going to put it right out there right now. I think me and Will are both in agreement on this one, that this man needs to go. So if you're ready for the Peter Laviolette hate train, here we go. Will, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing very good. Rangers got a won yesterday, moved in second place in the wild card 2 spot. Montreal just beat, not just beat, but they beat the Panthers today, so they're 2 points ahead of us. Doesn't really matter, or I guess it does matter because they're 2 points ahead of us. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Peter Laviolette, I think he should be relieved of his duties.
Well, hold on. Let's take a moment to pause and talk about this playoff race, because this is one of the worst playoff races.
Oh my dude, I don't think
ever seen.
I don't think a single team wants to make the playoffs. wants the wild card 2 spot.
It's horrible. Like, unbiased, like, I'm a Rangers fan, obviously, but take that out of the equation, right? Yeah, let's say the Rangers are not even in this race. What is going on in the East? There are like 6 teams that are all within similar point ranges, within 1 or 2 points of each other, and they all just keep losing. Doesn't somebody want to make it, or are they all just tanking?
Listen to this. The Canadians, Rangers, Islanders, Red Wings, and Blue Jackets are all under 500 in their last 10.
No one wants it. No one wants to get in.
That's crazy.
Includes the Rangers.
It's crazy.
It's horrible.
They're all under 500. It's nuts. Oh, and the Bruins are under 500 in their last 10 games, but they're probably not going to make the playoffs. So,
yeah, well,
I guess they're in the race, though.
Last thing I'll say before we get into the Peter Laviolette discussion, I was on an airplane recently, like last week, and I sat next to a Bruins fan, and he was wearing a Bruins sweatshirt. He saw my bag, had the Rangers logo on it, and we both kind of just looked at each other, and we brought it up, and he's like, Rangers fan. I was like, Bruins fan. And we both kind of just acknowledged, like, we have no credibility here. There's no need to argue about anything. Like, both of our seasons have just been so terrible, and we're just gonna chill. And we had a good flight. So I never got the guy's name, but if you're watching this, I remember that conversation, and it will stick with me for a while, because we're so bad that there's not even reason to have rivalries anymore, because we're just that terrible. But speaking of being terrible, the Rangers are. And a big part of that is Peter Laviolette. So I'm going to get right into my reasons on why we should fire Peter Laviolette. There is zero accountability on this team. What is the reason why Christopher James Kreider is still receiving ice time? I need one good reason from Peter Laviolette, and maybe I'll let it go. But honestly, he has 4 assists. It's the same as Adam Edstrom, who plays on the 4th line. And I get it. Like, we love Kreider. He's a franchise guy. But at this point of his career, especially this season, he is not providing anything positive. Why has he not been scratched? And this is like not even just a recent issue. This goes back to the whole season. I'm going to bring up Kakko again. You know I love Kakko. Why was Kaapo Kakko ever scratched on this team when he was producing and making great defensive plays? Yet Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider got to keep receiving top 6 ice time. It doesn't make any sense. There's zero accountability. He's letting the older veteran forwards do whatever they want. He's not punishing them for poor play. And he's taking ice time away from the young guys like Brett Berard that are ready to go out and succeed on this team. I've seen a lot of posts on social media recently calling the New York Rangers a country club. And honestly, I agree. It's just an organization for older players to go to a place where no one cares about anything other than just making money and having fun. And they're not even having fun because they're losing. They're just doing whatever they want, and they know that they can get away with it. And Peter Laviolette is the head coach of this team. He's the one who's meant to put his players in place, get them in line, and get them out there to go win games. And I have not seen that from him at all. We received a comment last year that will stick in my head forever. I've mentioned it so many times that said, you guys are experiencing the phenomenon called first-year Peter Laviolette. And at the time, I was like, whatever. But I get it now. I understand. He came in, was like the savior of this franchise. And then in his second year as the head coach, what happened? It all fell apart. And that comment will stick with me forever now. I don't remember who said it or what video it was on, but I read it and I've been thinking about it and it's been sitting with me. And they were right. We experienced the phenomenon of first-year Peter Laviolette. He did great things for this franchise, but those great things are over, and it is time to move on to a head coach who is ready to get these players off the bench and back on the ice, ready to play meaningful hockey, which I have not seen in any game this season. So I think he needs to go. I ranted for a while. It's your turn.
All right, let me bring up the power play real quick. This is from Johnny Lazarus. I have no I don't know any stats from March or the entire year or how many power plays they haven't converted on their last however many games. But in the month of March, they converted at just 7.7.5%. 7.5.
That's awful.
Yeah, for a power play that was one of the best, was regularly top 5 the last, what was it, 2021, 4 years I think it is. For the last 4 years, they operated a power play conversion of 7.5. 7.5%. That's pathetic. And that was the bread and butter of this team, and for the last 4 years, and now their power. What are they? I think they're in the. I mean, they're definitely in the bottom half of their power plays in the bottom half of the league. I can't remember exactly. I think last time it was 26th or something like that. 26th. It's just that's pathetic. Their power plays have looked terrible over the last 3 months, 4 months, getting back to December. Yeah, it's off the hinges. It's terrible. It is horrible. So the power play has been garbage for 4 months, and nothing has been done to help change it. Obviously, Adam Fox was injured for a little bit, for about a month. But still, Zach Jones was a good enough power play QB where you should have converted on, a handful of power plays with him. Maybe it wasn't going to be the same as Adam Fox. It wasn't, but could have converted on a handful. The defense, I know we talked about this earlier, a couple months ago, but the defense, the man coverage is not working. The man coverage has not worked the entire year, and nothing was done to change that. Nothing was done. I understand the penalty kill is different, but you play in a zone defense on the penalty kill, and it is top 5 in the league. And you didn't think once that your defense could have gotten that much better. And I don't know how I don't know how hard it is for coaches, to install new defenses in the season. It's probably hard. I know it's hard somewhat a little difficult to do in football. Not really. It takes about a week. But he didn't think once, him or Phil Housley didn't think once that there's something that's working well with the penalty kill, and that's being in a zone defense. But they're continuing to play man at 5v5 and even strength.
And think about it like this, though. Let's say that Peter Laviolette and the defensive coaches picked up on it and tried to make a change. Do you think this core is even willing to put in the work to make that change?
I don't know. But I mean, they already play in a zone and on the PK, so do they really have to make that much of a change? Not really. But at the same time, I understand what you're saying. They're very stubborn and prima donnas, and
It's like they're just so sensitive. They're just a bunch of babies that want to just skate in circles, get their paycheck, and do whatever. It's like I don't think there's a single player on this team that actually cares about winning a Stanley Cup, except for Igor Shesterkin and JT Miller. And that's it. That's where I draw the line. Like even Adam Fox, even Panarin, I don't think
I
they want
include
it that
those
bad.
two.
I don't think they want it that bad.
I think Panarin does. I just don't. I think
He
he
doesn't act
does.
like it.
I mean, he's been our best play. He's literally been our best player in this recent playoff push.
That,
Like
I mean,
he
yeah,
is the reason
that's
that they're even
true.
in it.
That is true, and he is my favorite player, as many of the people watching know. But still, like when we get to the playoffs, has Panarin ever succeeded?
Yeah, but his game doesn't. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. His game does not translate to the playoffs, but he still does enough where he can open up the rest of the ice for his teammates. Like I guess that's
Maybe I'll give Panarin like a
I
check.
give I give. I mean, he's been one of the best. He's been the best Ranger since we've signed him. Like and Adam Fox obviously too. Last year he was injured in the playoffs. This year he was injured again. I don't know if he was fully healthy or anything like that, but he's still really good. Like he still cares.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying I don't think he wants
Oh, I
it.
know. I think he does. I think he cares. I just don't. Well,
He
maybe it rubbed off. I
doesn't
don't
play
know.
like it. As good as he is, he doesn't play like a Stanley Cup winning defenseman. And I mean, there are other outside factors that impact this, like his defensive partners throughout the years and stuff, and injuries, like you mentioned. So it's not an attack on him by any means, or Panarin for that matter. It's just when I watch these games and I'm looking at intensity and who's skating the hardest and playing the hardest, the first two that come to mind are just immediately JT Miller and Igor Shesterkin. So I don't know. I think there's a very big culture problem with this team where they all, even like Drury put out that memo where like anyone can go, and I think instead of taking that as motivation to be better, all these players just got disgruntled and were like, "Oh, if they don't want me, then I'm not going to try," and acted all sassy like the little princesses that they are. And now we're in the last handful of games with Sam Rosen. He's begging for the playoffs, and these players are going to deny that of him.
Yeah, it's. I think honestly, I think this. Well, one, I think that some of the core players are going to be moved on from this summer.
They better be.
I don't even want to just blame this
I
on
hope
Peter
they are.
Laviolette. Like, yeah, I know this video is talking about us firing. Like, if we want to fire Peter Laviolette, or should the Rangers fire
But
him?
it expands
It
farther
it it
beyond that.
goes to Drury, James Dolan too. Like, it's the players. It is literally the entire organization
Yeah, I mean,
that
I've
needs to
always
change.
said we'll never succeed with James Dolan as the owner of the Rangers, but
I agree.
that's an entirely different conversation for
And
another.
neither will the Knicks. The
Yeah,
curse of the Garden. Everyone says the law of the Garden. There's a curse in the Garden. The Knicks haven't won since the '70s, and the Rangers haven't won since the '90s.
and
When
there's
James Dolan
history.
took over, they've been to one cup. They've been to one cup, and they've been to one Eastern Conference NBA championship, NBA final. Sorry,
And
one.
I mean, just think back to that time when we could have traded our first round pick for Jake Gensel, but Dolan said no because he owned a part of the Sphere. That's
He
a
owns the Sphere. No, he owns the Sphere.
oh,
He owns all of it.
he
It's
owns all of
crazy.
it.
Yeah, he owns
I thought he
all
was
of
a
it.
part owner. That's
That's
worse.
MSG.
Because
Pretty sure.
God forbid his
Yeah,
team
let me
wins
check.
and then doesn't have a first round pick at his sphere, But again, a conversation for another day. It's I'm kind of curious to know now. Sorry, kind of curious to know now. I ate some cashews before we hit record. They're
Need some
killing me.
water.
I know. I got my water right here. Did you find the answer to the question?
Yes, he is owned. It is owned through his company, Sphere Entertainment Company. Owns and operates the Sphere in Las Vegas, a next generation entertainment medium, which is really awesome. If anyone goes to Vegas, I would go, especially see Dead and Co. It's great. I went last year. Anyway, sorry. That was actually the second day of the concert was the Rangers lost in Game 6. I didn't even watch it because I didn't want to be sad at the concert, but Yeah, I think there's a lot more in this that needs to happen to this organization. From a culture standpoint, that's not even just the coaches or the players. I think it's the entire organization.
Oh yeah,
It's
look,
crazy.
this season has had a lot of ups and downs. Not even just with the team itself, but like with this channel in particular, talking about the Rangers. We've all been super busy. I was sick for a really long time. We haven't been able to upload as much as I would have liked to say that we did, which I apologize for. Just a lot of outside factors that came in there. But you just wait for the off season. As soon as summer hits, and whether we're in the playoffs or we miss them, I got a lot of things to say about this team moving forward. Decisions about who stays and who goes, who needs to be fired. Seems like me and Will are on the same page about Peter Laviolette, that he needs to go. So that's going to be coming very soon. So if you guys want to see all that good stuff, make sure that you like, subscribe, and you ring that bell so you don't miss notification. Like I said, we want them gone. Let us know down in that comment section below. And be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully these Rangers will make the playoffs. We don't play for like 4 days. It's like a little relaxing period. It just stresses me out. The Rangers just stress me out at this point. I don't even enjoy watching them at this point.
Let me tell you, Eric, and anyone else that's watching, I have been so happy that the Yankees have been back. I watched some of their spring training games. I like to score the games, so I've watched some of those. But since the regular season has started, and I know it's only been 3 games, it has been a breath of fresh air. And I know it's going to change. It'll probably change. It'll be up. It's such an up and down because it's it's a 162 game season. But God, it has been such a breath of fresh air to be able to watch them and not have to think about the Rangers and how much damage they would do to me mentally.
Yeah, I will
So
say
nice.
I'm going to quote a conversation I had with Tony earlier,
Ooh.
our fellow host. Or we were talking about the Rangers, and I was just crashing out about how terrible we are. And I said, I brought up like the country club thing, and I said, I agree with all that. Nobody wants to win. And then I said, until that day when we decide we want to play hockey to win, it's 162-0 for the Yankees. And
Well said.
we're 3 out of 162. So
Very well
we're
said.
getting there. Which I guess before I conclude the outro, I have to plug the franchise. If you guys are Yankees fans like me and Will are, be sure to check out Fireside Yankees. We're not hosts there, but we know the
They're
guys.
awesome. They have awesome
We know the
content.
guys that are, and they're really cool guys. So
Yes, they do
Yankees
awesome
fans,
content.
check out Fireside Yankees.
On
And
all social medias.
on all social media accounts. They got Instagram, they got Twitter, they got everything, the YouTube. But yeah, go Yankees. This is Yankee season at this point. I mean, I'm wearing an Oilers shirt to the Rangers podcast. At this point, anything is possible. There are no limits to what can happen. But I guess I'll conclude the outro. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all have an amazing night, and hopefully we have a decent end to the season so we can just go ahead and focus on that Yankees baseball. So have a good one, and
Let's
go
go
Rangers.